name is Nerea Oketch. I'm a nominated member of County Assembly of HomaBay, and that means I'm elected by the ODM party to represent the interest of women, to bridge the two-third gender gap in the County Assembly of HomaBay. And also, on another level, I'm also Miss President in Kenya. Miss President happened in 2019 because that was the right time for Kenyans to start thinking, clearly and in good time about the 2022 general elections. The women's space, the gender divide, and it came at a time that our National Assembly has not been able to pass the two-third gender rule. And so we needed to escalate that conversation. We needed Kenyans to see women earn leadership on merit and not because they are women. I participated in that process, representing my county, of course, and I was honored to eventually be a finalist and look for votes. So I learned how to look for votes. That was the best experience. It prepared me well for 2022. And so as I continue serving in the County Assembly, one of the things that I have been a proponent of is women's access to water. I come from a constituency, Karachuonyo, where we significantly have not been able to take the last mile connection in terms of water. So even without a funded kitty for specially elected MCAs or nominated MCAs, I managed to mobilize a few friends so that we can get the women working. That essentially informed my decision to move from a corporate position to come to HomaBay and work alongside women like myself. And many of those women, up to 90% of those women, have been left behind. Because when you talk about the subject of including women, I think we do it at boardroom level most of the time. And so these women are not there when we are planning programs. These women rely on, most often donor resources. And if it's government resources, it comes in the form of, Ways of Fund, Women Enterprise Fund. And by the time it gets there, it's all rules and regulations, and you have to do this. We don't have enough financial literacy. So eventually, when we look at the gains from, all of these resources that trickle down, it comes down to less than 20%. And so I involved myself in understanding how to work with a woman who, like me, possibly got married at 17, possibly had, children back to back because I had 4 children by the time I was 24, possibly did not go to college, like myself who didn't go to college until I had my 4 children. So I work with them to understand, what talent do they have. And so you'd find me in, women groups, my constituency, speaking about, how to look at their working capital for business, how to manage their money. You will find me speaking about issues of gender-based violence, how they take care of their girls and how to make sure our girls are in school. You find me in my constituency lobbying my member of parliament to ensure that even the women that do not support him politically still have access to government resources that are in his office. Because we see that, because of political differences, we leave women behind. So I believe very much that getting into office as a woman means that I need to be politically tolerant. Women all over the world are known to, be bipartisan. But further than that, I've learned to legislate. I'm the person that, looked at the issue of defilement of children in HomaBay. In terms of teen pregnancy, we are at 38%, the second in the country. So I moved successfully a motion in our assembly to address the issue of child welfare and protection. And so as implementation is ongoing, organizations that are working with children have to, work within a certain policy framework. And so one challenge that we have run into, yes, we have a policy environment. What we are looking at is how to hold organizations accountable if things do go wrong in their programs. So that is the area that we are working on to make sure that my legislation then can be foolproof legislation that we can ride on for years to come. I believe there is an opportunity for women to interact in governance. What I see as a gap, because I want to give a way forward, what I see as a gap is the fact that in politics, we tend to go with who is supporting our political cause. And so I'll give you an example. I'm the chair of the Women League in my county of ODM party. And in my outreach programs to revamp that league, because I looked at the previous office holder and the fact that she did not have enough support and resources to move, primarily because she did not align politically to somebody who is in charge of those resources. It kills the spirit of women. So in as much as women are willing to participate, women want to participate and need to participate in their own terms. I do not have to support A and B for them to know that it is their responsibility to hold a meeting within our political party to ensure that I know what's happening. I also benefit from governance training as given to other supporters of the political party and different political parties. So I think as a matter of way forward, it is important, it is paramount that if you have to get women to balance the equation of power in HomaBay County, then I will challenge all the leaders to ensure that they do not have pockets or cohorts of people they think they should carry along to move their own personal agenda. We need to decide what we want to do. Do we want personal agenda, or do we want the agenda of mainstreaming women into governance so that we carry everybody along, despite not having their political support? I think that's where we go wrong. Politicians, we can be selfish. Yes, we want the vote, but what about that somebody who needs to be assisted to grow? First of all, gathering the courage to even say, I want to buy. That's significant. The emotions of fear, the emotions of rejection that you will go through are enough to stop you from making that decision. And even after you make that decision, it might take you time to declare publicly that you want to run for a specific seat. And so after declaring, once you get over your fear of rejection, your fear of where am I going to get the money to run, eventually you put together a team and then you start figuring out, how do I raise money? How do I sell my agenda? There is also the matter of, emotionally handling the way people perceive your candidature. And I say this in, knowing very well that not everybody who likes you in person will agree that you can make a good bid. So if you want to vie successfully, it means you have to sell your agenda to those people who prefer your candidature or prefer your opponent's candidate. The other thing that I see as a big challenge is how do women convince the political parties that they can deliver the vote. Because I know political parties are under pressure right now to make sure that the party list agenda balanced, but they must also win elections. So how do you make yourself into that prime certificate holder of the political party? Getting visibility, number one. Who do you talk to? So we must learn who we talk to, who makes the decisions, who will give us information on where we need to be, what party activities are happening. And then, of course, value addition. I don't believe that a political party wants you as a candidate if you don't add value. So look at the political system. Find out what value you can add, because ultimately, if you're not a good candidate, the party will not give you that ticket. It doesn't matter. So there's an aspect of the party not giving you the ticket, but there's also that role that you need to play to bring your skills to the party so that they recognize it. Let's make voter data into a ringtone, because everybody, even with Akabambe, has access to that. And so let us make sure that it is a ringtone. Let's have it circulating. The first place and the lowest unit is to make sure that voter data is being spoken about in every woman group. I can tell you my village has 200, my ward has 200 women groups, and they meet from Monday to Sunday, at least for an hour. So if I'm your champion, if I'm your ambassador for voter data, I'll make sure that each and every woman group, that is just one ward. My constituency has 7 wards. I will make sure that every meeting that is being convened for a women group, we have the Voter Dada song playing. So that is massive numbers if you look at it in the whole country. And then we could also have a tweet-a-thon and see who can bring in the most tweets, who is trending on Voter Dada. So it's all about communication.